Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Antonio checking in. And today we want to talk about dealing with negative people, negative entities, negative energies while you're on this journey, and how you know, how you can interact with these people, people, entities, energies, because they are here, they are real, and you will come across them. It's not like everybody you meet in life is just gonna be hippie, happy-go-lucky. And when it comes to dealing with negative people, low vibrational energies, it's not saying that they're bad people. So I don't want you to think just because somebody's low vibrational negative energy that they're bad, but that doesn't mean that they're good. We just looking at it from what we are receiving. And if you're on a certain vibration, how it is when you meet people that's on a lower vibration, right? So I actually took some notes on this one because, of course, I just had the thought dropping my daughter off to school, and I was like, man, I woke up with the thought like dealing with negative people. It's, anyway, let's jump into it. Now, one of the first things that came to my mind when it came to dealing with negative people is you got to set boundaries. Because if you don't set boundaries or even have boundaries in your life, you will become a dumping ground. And when you become a dumping ground, people with negative patterns, they tend to come and just vent to you. And if you don't have like some type of self-care routine, some type of spiritual aura protection, then you're going to absorb that energy. And if you're not used to transmuting the energy is going to start to manifest. So their problems will manifest into you having more severe problems. So boundaries are key. And you have to even have boundaries with yourself on what you will and what you won't accept. Because on the spiritual level, these energies, they know that you are a high vibration individual, which means that they need your energy. They need your energy to feed off of so they can continue to be negative, so it can fuel that negativity. But once you have them boundaries and that spiritual protection around you, you should be good. And another thing that I jotted down, it correlates to setting your boundaries, is focusing on your well-being. Because if you wake up, you set the tone for your day. Usually when you set the tone for your day, even in the most chaotic moments, it'll still go smooth for you. But I've noticed, like, me not setting the tone for my days, when I run into a lot of BS, it kind of affects me. It kind of shifts me versus if I get up, set the tone for my day, and I still run into the BS, it don't affect me. Half the time I notice it, shake it off, keep going. Because I got those boundaries. I got that mental well-being that I know, like, hey, I'm not going to let your energy affect me. And even if it does affect me, I'm going to shift it and transmute it into something that can benefit me, because I'm the one that's going to be stuck feeling like that. So we got setting your boundaries. We got have some type of mental well-being, focus on your well-being. And also, when it comes to negative people, you got to practice mindful communication. Because one thing that I notice about negative people, they'll rant, they'll rave. And when it's time for you to speak, they probably tend to cut you off. Or usually negative people, negative energies, I'm going to say negative energies come through people. They just got to be right. So you got to learn how to mindfully communicate, like almost in a manner where it's like just letting them know, like, okay, you are right, but hey, this is my viewpoint. This is how I'm seeing it based off what you're saying. So once you get that down pat, each negative energy is different, but for the most part, when you learn how to mindfully communicate with it or to that energy or that entity, then it won't be as harmful to you as it would be if you just going back and forth with them and now you left with a headache. They just finding a way to be right, even if they're clearly wrong. So that's very key. Even outside of this is key to just communicate in general. But I noticed, like, when you communicate with negative energies, it's like they're just so rigidly logical that they can't be right. I mean, that they can't be wrong. And you, after when you realize a person can't be wrong, you just like, all right, you got it. And sometimes I just like, okay, yep, sometimes because it's like it's purposeless. Now you just wasting energy. You get your point across verbally and explain yourself in a manner, even if you have to do like, hey, this is what I was saying. This situation right here, you feel me? You have to talk slow and articulate your words so you can know, like, hey, this is what I am talking about. Do you understand me? Sometimes you got to get like that. So you got to set your boundaries. You got to focus on your mental well-being and focus on your well-being overall and communicate mindfully. And also, I got a few more notes that I want to go into depth when it comes to setting your boundaries. Basically, when I say set your boundaries, I'm basically saying just define your limits. Defining your limits is just establishing a clear communication on what you will and what you won't accept. Simple as that. And once you focus on, or once you communicate what you will and won't accept, enforce it. And when I say enforce it, I don't mean to be mean and rude, but enforce it in a way where it shows through your aura, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk. Look someone dead in their eye and like, hey, this is me. This is what I'm standing on. Pretty much stand on business. And you don't have to do it in a anal manner. You can do it in a way where a person know, like, okay, this person get the job done. This person not to be played with. This person respects themselves. So it all starts with yourself. Be disciplined and set boundaries with yourself, because it's going to show in your aura. It's going to show in your spirit. People are going to feel it in your presence. And they not even going to bring the BS to you. In the moment they try to bring the BS to you, it ain't even gonna last. So you gotta set your boundaries. And as far as focusing on your well-being, I think this is the part that a lot of people mess up on or fail at, is because a lot of individuals don't practice self-care. And if you're not gonna practice self-care, then you can hang it up. And because if you don't show yourself love, if you don't take care of self, if you don't have time for self, don't expect nobody else to uplift you. Don't expect nobody else to, just respect you. It starts with yourself. And when you have self-care, even these negative energies, they will sense that. And they will have a self-respect. But not saying that they still won't go over and beyond to get under your skin, if that makes sense. So as far as your well-being, practice self-care. Please do that. Please, please, please. As far as the communication, when it comes to dealing with negative people, please just listen. Listen actively. Listen for keywords. Focus on their gestures and, just stand still while they fidgeting and moving and, just listen actively so you can communicate and respond in a manner where it's like, okay, well, this is what you said. This is what I took from it. So to my understanding, this is what you're talking about. And also when you're dealing with negative people, you got to remain calm. You got to talk to them calmly, because 9 times out of 10, they are already probably in some type of irate mood, irritable mood, down, low vibrational mood. And you can't match their energy, man. You got to be the one to remain calm. Take the high road. Let them get whatever they got to get out their system. And you just stay calm, cool, and collected and say, okay. But when it's your turn to speak now, I need you to, verbally communicate what you have received. And when it's done, it's done. Don't linger on. Don't run around telling everybody what y'all done talked about, or once you deal with these negative energies, once you're done with them, you take what you take from it, transmute their energy, and you get gone, man. A lot of people have interactions and back and forths and altercations with people, then they go tell the whole world. I'm the type of person, if I have an altercation with you, a back and forth, hey, once we done, I'm not finna go tell nobody what done went on, because there's too much energy explaining that. Once we squash it, it's done. It's not that serious. And also, when you're dealing with negative people, you got to know how to keep your distance from them. And it's funny because the more you do your self-work, your self-care, life will put you in situations where you won't even come across certain negative people, but you will come across negative energies. It's just that it's like your subconscious, your spirit guides, they'll lead you down certain paths where you won't encounter them as much. But you definitely got to keep your distance, especially if you're in a situation where you can keep your distance. Just avoid them, man. And if you still find yourself around them, maybe it's just a lesson you need to learn. And maybe it's time for more practice with dealing with negative people. So even if you're dealing with negative energies and negative entities, take it as a lesson, because something bigger and grand could be coming down the pipeline for you, and this negative energy and this negative entity could just be a small lesson. And once you learn this lesson, now you can go on to bigger and better things. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times when it comes to negative entities, negative energies, just simply don't take it personal. Don't take it personal, because ain't no telling what they dealing with. And once you get to a certain level, man, you can really send love and compassion to them, because it's like, I'm not finna let you mess up what I got going on. I feel good. I feel great. Just because you hate your life and down and depressed, don't let your actions, I'm not about to let your actions, you feel me, affect me. I'm just being real. Why would I? So when it comes to a lot of negative energies and entities, don't take it personal, because we all have trauma that we healing from. And sometimes some people just deep into their trauma that they just not focused on healing, and it's okay, but don't let it affect you. But at the same time, get to a point where you can genuinely send compassion and love, because once you look at it from a different angle, you be like, dang, man, I really feel bad that you walking around depressed, you're a-hole. Hey, I really feel bad that you walking around like that, because it's like, but you never know what somebody going through either. So don't take it personal, man. And that's really it, man, when it comes to that. Negative people, negative entities, negative energies. Definitely communicate clearly. Practice well-being. And what was the first one I told you guys? Hold on, let me go back to my notes. I said practice well-being and set your boundaries. Why did I forget that one? All right, Carson. This is a cool coworker, man. But definitely set your boundaries, practice, focus, practice on your well-being, and communicate effectively. But overall, work on you and be good, be great, and let these negative people to do what they do, and just keep them out the way, man. Y'all be good. Y'all be great. Peace.